And there we go. Okay, great. So hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Lisa Jordan. If we haven't met, I've met a lot of you, but not all of you. I'm the managing director of the IEA, and then I'm also the executive director of the Charlotte Executives Association. And we host these webinars every month, usually on a Tuesday afternoon if you're in the East Coast, morning if you're in Hawaii. And these are free for you to attend and free for you to host. So if you have a great topic that you would like to share with the other members of the IEA, then I'll put my contact information in the chat, and you're welcome to reach out to me about scheduling a time for you to give the webinar. So with that, I want to go ahead and introduce our host today, Kendra Riley. Kendra Riley founded Dawning Public Relations in 2013 with a focus on helping brands elevate their exposure through comprehensive communications campaigns. With a combined 125 years of industry experience, she and her team help everyone from the small independent business owner to nationwide brands with storefronts from coast to coast elevate their exposure through local, national, and international public relations and social media management. She's also a rare disease and healthcare advocate who has helped pass new right to try legislation, develop newborn screening research, and speaks on national and international stages. In addition to her membership in the IEA, of course, she's a member of the Executives Association of Greater Phoenix, who's a relatively new member of the IEA as of last year. Alliances, the Greater Phoenix Chamber of Commerce, a board member for the Armor Foundation for Kids, and a member of the Phoenix Heart Ball Committee benefiting the American Heart Association. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Kendra.
Hi, everybody. I will go ahead and just share my screen here for a moment. Bear with me. Here we go. Can everybody see that? Good.
Yes, perfect.
All right. So Lisa was kind enough to share a little bit about me already. So I'm originally from Valparaiso, Indiana, the home of Orville Redenbacher. Little fun fact, that's basically all we're known for, aside from good basketball. I'm a U of A graduate. I've been doing PR and social media management for clients for about 20 years now, and 10 of that having my own business. Right there, you'll see my family, my husband, Dave, and our 3 daughters, Ava, Olivia, and Kira. The two youngest were actually diagnosed with a really rare disease called MLD during the pandemic, and that's what made me become a rare disease advocate. I used to think my PR agency was my purpose in life, and then after that ordeal, I realized my PR agency is a vehicle for me to help other families in need like ours, who need to share their story in the news in order to save their children's lives. So that is why I do what I do aside from running my business. And I'm happy to share more about that later, but it's a long story. So we'll just dive right in here into the topic of today and what is public relations. Everyone thinks it's advertising. It's not. So I have a little example based on some wine here, which I'd say Robert Carlson, who's on the call, was the inspiration for that. He's one of our clients at Carlson Creek Vineyard. And you'll see his wine in one of the pictures below at the bottom in that story. But what I'd ask for you to look for here is to take a look at the advertisement on the top from Total Wine, where they are talking about all the wines they have and what they have for sale, and probably what they're trying to get off the shelves in order to make other inventory available. And then look at the story that was in a magazine on the bottom that's from an established wine writer who does this for a living and is sharing her reviews on all of these Arizona wines and which ones are the best and what flavors you can find in each. And as a consumer, think to yourself, what would you trust more? The advertisement pushing these things at you at a sales price, or the wine writer who does this for a living telling you what the best wines are? Generally, you're going to believe and trust the wine writer more than you would Total Wine, who's just trying to get whatever they can out the door. And that's why, the quote on the side from the Nielsen rating says that PR is almost 90% more effective than advertising in some cases. It's just a lot more trustworthy when you have that third party credibility. And you really have to think about the difference of advertising and PR. Is advertising is like you saying how great you are to someone else, and PR is someone else saying how great you are. So those are the main, that's the main difference in the two, that I really want to drive home. A lot of people don't understand, get it confused, or just gloss it all over and think they can lump them together, but they're two very different things and very different important tactics in a communications campaign for sure. So why is the media important to your business? Aside from, building the trust with those consumers, that could be your clients, it ultimately gives you that third-party credibility. You're a trusted resource is using your expertise. It's really building your name as a leader in your industry. And it does build the name recognition, just like advertising would, just in a different manner. Having your business name or your name show up in a magazine one month and then the newspaper the next month, and they're seeing you on TV at the same time, that's not only raising this brand awareness and reaching new clientele, but it's giving those people that already use your brand or know your brand or may want to use your brand, just a little bit of confidence in that they're choosing the right person when they're choosing you or your company. And this example here, of course, I'm a U of A graduate, so I had to use this example with U of A in the background. But this is a client of ours, Udall Shumway. They're a law firm here in Phoenix. And they actually had nothing to do. They were not representing either party in what ABC 15 was talking about. But their lawyer had expertise in the sports world and brought him in to give his, 2 cents on what was happening with this scandal that was going on in the NCAA. And, having Udall Shumway tied to U of A, that's a much bigger brand than Udall Shumway. So to have them even remotely associated, and then ABC 15 having them as an expert, is kind of like a perfect trifecta of, getting your client in the face of people that are, now going to trust your brand in ways that they may not have before. You all probably know this. Who are the media? They're writers, print writers, they're journalists, they're online writers, they're TV reporters and producers, radio hosts. But ultimately, I don't want you to be intimidated by these people because they're all generalists. They know a little bit about a lot. They're moving on from story to story to story. So they learn what they need to, put it in the paper, and then they move on. Same with the TV hosts. They're not going to read your full press release. They're going to read the bullet points before they get to your segment and then just go right on air and then forget about it when they're done. So don't be intimidated and always feel like, you're the expert when you're talking to them and you're sharing your knowledge with them, because they truly, they don't know what you know. So I want you all to be confident when you are speaking with the media. But one important thing is they are always on a deadline. So if they call you and you don't respond right away, if they say, hey, I want to have your company in a story, please call me back. If you don't call them back right away, they're moving on to the next source they might have, and you're going to miss it. So always remember that, when you hear from them, respond as soon as you can. Otherwise, your competitor might be in your place. Little snapshot from the morning show. If you guys watch that on Apple TV, it's a good one with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. But they want to know, what is important to the media. Like I said, quick responses. If you're, late to the game, you're going to lose the opportunity. Always be honest with them. And when you're speaking with the media, whether it's in an interview or on the phone, remember it's always on the record, nothing's off the record. But to be succinct in what you're saying, be confident and be brief, because those little succinct sentences can become sound bites that are then used in a later news story or put in a blog online. So you never know where that little soundbite that you give could go to from one interview to the next. When you're working with TV specifically, you really want to think about what's visual. So say you have a great idea for your business. You're like, oh my gosh, we have a job fair coming up. We're hiring 100 people. I want to get TV out. You need to tell them, hey, we've got this great job fair coming up. We are going to have XYZ amount of people, we're going to have these other visuals. So you always tell them what's going to be there for them to look at above and beyond a talking head, because they're going to want as many visuals as possible. Of course, a variety of sources for their stories. So while they might be featuring you, it's always great to have you or your PR firm offer up another source that could help add to their story or make it even bigger. So it could be, you know, oh, hey, I have a client, if you want to speak to them about what we're doing, or here's an industry partner, you know, say you're a real estate developer and you're like, oh, well, the architect or the designer is also available. I can send their contact information. They may love that as well. Another really great thing to think about for the media are numbers and statistics relating to literally anything you do. So it could be your business, it could be your industry, it could be something happening, you know, just throughout the nation, a trending story, but any statistics you can add are going to impress the media, because if it's something, a statistic they've never heard before, they're going to want to use it and they're going to want to be the first to possibly talk about it in your market. So always be thinking about things like that. And it could be just, you know, a recent report said Scottsdale is the number 10 city for retirement or something. You know, it could be little things like that, but it could be, you know, oh, our company tripled revenue over the past year, or, you know, 65% of people say XYZ about this, and it relates to your company. So don't just think about internally your statistics, think about externally in your industry. What other stats are out there that you might be able to share that the local news market hasn't touched on yet? Photos and videos are another great thing. As you all know, social media is continuing to get larger and larger and expand, and photos and videos are, you know, up top in the algorithm for Facebook, especially videos. So the more content as far as photos and videos that you have to supplement any stories are going to be amazing for any media story. If you're sending them something and you say, hey, you know, like I'll use Robert Carlson as an example again, since he's on the call. You know, we've got harvest coming up and this is our, you know, first pick of the harvest season. In case you can't make it, send a TV camera down to the vineyard, here is some B-roll video footage that we have on file that you can use of the vineyard that shows it all. Those are things that are really helpful. So even though a TV camera crew couldn't get down there, you're already supplying them with some video footage that can make a full story, and they don't have to do anything extra. There's no work on their part. So having those things are really important. Like I said, social media, some, and I'm just say very rare cases, will media not run a story or include you in a story if your social media following is low. So sometimes reporters will ask you that. They'll say, ask for your social media links, not just to share it in the story or an online story, but also to look at your social media, see how many followers you have, and ask and make sure that you're going to share their story on your social media. So that's always an important thing, and you want to keep your social media updated as much as you can. That can only, you know, help your chances as far as PR when those opportunities do come up where a reporter might be questioning that and wanting you to help them get the story out. And a well-trained spokesperson is key, of course. You don't want someone who's never been on TV before just going up and representing your company. So that's something we work with all of our clients in doing, and in prepping them for those interviews, whether it's on the phone and, you know, in a radio station or live on TV. We kind of help them with what's the Q&A going to look like? What could your potential answers be? What are your sound bites? What should you wear? What should you not say? So a lot of different things like that we work through our clients on. And ultimately, they want to know the W's: who, what, when, where, why. Make it quick, tell them why it's important to them, and you can definitely land some great stories for your company. If anyone knows this one, it's an oldie but a goodie, the picture there. So I'll let you can say in the chat if you know what it is, where it's from. But what is newsworthy? This is a big question. I feel like a lot of companies don't realize how much newsworthy content they have. I go into a lot of client meetings and they're like, oh, we really don't have that much going on. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what happened in the last month? Or what do you have coming up for year end? And they just start rattling off all these things that are like, just major newsworthy options for us to run with as a PR firm. So I know it's hard to get out of your own head as a business owner and think of what you're doing as being newsworthy. But these are just a few items to kind of think about. Something unique, there's a national day for literally everything now. So if there's something relating to your business and you're doing something for it, media will probably want to hear about it. Something new, you're opening your doors to your business, you're entering a new market. It could be literally anything. Even if, like I said earlier, you tripled the size of your business in the past 3 to 5 years and you haven't told anybody about it, then that's a news story. That's something the Business Journal would want to hear about. So think about those things as a business owner and what you've done and accomplished. And if you haven't told anybody, then nobody knows. So be sure to think about that and what you could get out there, because there's a news outlet for literally everything these days. Anything timely, like, for example, you're hosting a job fair or something like that. Something trending, I put medical marijuana because that's, just something everybody wants to talk about. So if you have any relation to that, you're going to get in the news for it somehow. And anything touching human interest stories, especially for TV, they want to connect with their viewers in a more personal way, and they want to tug at heartstrings. So anything, it couldn't just be you, but like something amazing that, an employee is doing, that they're giving back. And, oh, Joe at my company actually donates 500 turkeys to this, a nonprofit for Thanksgiving, and I had no idea. That's a great visual. That's, something that anyone would want to hear about. So think about not just you as a CEO of your business, but also your employees and what impact they're having on the community and how you might be able to, shine the spotlight on them too, because it's only going to help the greater good. So once you have your ideas in mind and kind of some options on what you think is the most newsworthy things you have going on, and again, I want you to think about too, another news story option quickly while I'm thinking about it is, we're reaching the end of the year. So 2023 is coming up, and a big option for a lot of businesses is what's trending in 2023 in your industry. So as a leader, I want you to bring your expertise and think of like 3 to 5 bullet points of what trends, the general public can see from your industry in the next year. And if you put that out before anyone else, you're going to get that story. So that's another option to be thinking about as we reach the end of the year here. So here's what to send to media. This is the traditional route. I'm going traditional first. A press release. We've all heard about what those are. It's a long form document, more essay style, written in AP style, the who, what, when, where. That should all be in the first paragraph. You've got a catchy headline, and the bulk of it is going to be, a quote from you or whoever the key stakeholder is, more information, maybe a quote from a partner if you have someone involved in the story, and then where the public can go for more information. So it's going to look something like this. And a lot of people will tell you that press releases need to be 1 page. Not the case. You can have a 2-page press release. That's fine. They want all the information. And in a lot of cases these days, a lot of outlets are actually short-staffed. So if you have a long press release, whether it's 2 pages, maybe max 3, I wouldn't go over 3. A lot of times their staff is going to just copy your press release and paste it into a story, because they're so low staffed and low on time that they're taking, what you send to them as a finished story. So anything you want to put in that press release, be ready for it to get in the media and be just copy pasted. Those can be great, easy opportunities for you to get literally anything you want said out there. But, some key things to include on that press release: your logo, who to contact at your company for more information, or your PR firm. That it's for immediate release. That means they know it's safe to get this news out, and on what day. Good headline. If it's more than 2 lines, include a subhead. So you make sure all that information is on the top. A lot of times media aren't going to read past your headline and subhead. If you're lucky enough, they'll read the first paragraph. And that's why you want to include all of the who, what, when, where information in that first paragraph of the press release. That's how they're going to know if it's a fit for their publication or not. So you want to make sure the bulk of your info is there and then the rest of the information below it. Another option is a media alert. This is great for events, and it's definitely more short form, straight to the point than a press release. The who, what, when, where, and here's an example. So still the same information as far as, the logo, immediate release, you got your headline and subhead. But here you're just going to say, okay, what are we talking about here? What's going on? Here's the day of the event. This is what the event's called. This is who it's benefiting. This is who's running the show. Here where you can go for more information. And of course, if it's an event, you need to know when, you need to know where. And in most cases, not this one because they were sold out, but you need to add like what the cost of the event would be. Sometimes you might have different costs for children, adults, etc. So those are things you might want to include. And the easy route and the fastest by far is to send a pitch. That's basically writing an email to a reporter and giving them your idea. Make it brief, make the subject line super relevant. So if it's timely, you want to say any dates that relate to it in the subject of your email. And especially if it's local, you want to say, okay, January 1st, Scottsdale business opening 3 new locations, something like that. So you want to make sure the bulk of it is in your subject, and don't be, rambly in that regard. And then in the body of the email, just say, to the reporter, you can make it as casual as you want. Hi Yetta, like we have this coming up at our business. It's going to be super visual. This is what's going down. This is when it's going to happen. Here's who we have for interviews. And here's our on-site media contact if you'd like to send a camera out. And here's an example of that. So subject line, February 1st, Wings of Humanity flies 10-year-old Phoenix girl to emergency surgery. Obviously, that's a pretty eye-catching headline. We ended up getting every TV station in the market out for this story. It was a really touching, like I said, human interest story that was very visual. We were on the tarmac with the jet, the girls getting on the plane. But we made sure to highlight, it's happening tomorrow, this day, this is where it is. Here's your on-site contact, because a lot of times when you're pitching someone at a TV station, it might be the producer and not someone who's actually going to come interview you. So you need to include who should be the first person contacted when someone from the TV station reaches that location, because they're going to want to talk to them. They might not know where to park, or they might not even know who they're talking to. But they will have that information for on-site media contact. So be sure to always include that and let them know, who's available for the interview that day. If you have a press release or media alert, you can always include it as an attachment when you're doing a pitch like this, but it's definitely not necessary. You can easily just send a quick email, tell them what's going on, and see if it's a fit for what they're doing. You'll be surprised that a lot of times it is. So here's how to reach reporters if you don't have a PR firm. Benefit of having a PR firm too, is all these reporters are also contacting us like on a daily basis, because they are constantly looking for stories. So that's one of the benefits of having a PR firm, is we have them coming to us often saying, what do you have next? Who are your clients? What are they doing now? But for those that don't have a PR firm, these are all amazing ways to reach these reporters. Like I said, email, they're not going to answer their phones anymore. They'll listen to your voicemail, and they might return your voicemail if they like the idea. But otherwise, I would definitely reach them via email. And to find their emails, this is not as hard as you think. So take Fox 10 Phoenix, for example. You can go on their website, or even AZ Central, any publication that you want in your area. Go on their website in the either Contact Us section or About Us section, and you will see links for editorial staff. Those are the people you want to reach out to. And sometimes if it's a large staff, it'll say the entertainment reporter, the sports reporter, the op-ed reporter. So you'll know, depending on what industry you're in and what story you're kind of pitching to them, who you want to reach out to. But you'll always want to reach out to the editor or a reporter. If you're at the TV station, maybe a producer. Leave the salespeople alone. They're not going to help you. They're just going to pitch you for advertising. But email is an easy way. Social media. A lot of reporters these days are actually required to be on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So they are constantly on there. They have to post stories anyway. So they're on there actually talking to people and looking for things to say and looking for new story ideas. So that's a really easy way. If you follow a reporter on Twitter or Instagram, send them a private message and say, hey, great story. Here's an idea. Thought you might like it. Let me know, and I'm happy to coordinate more. So make it very brief, get to the point. That'll be probably the biggest time saver for you in regards to reaching out to the media, because you might have only so many characters to do so. But an easy way. They love to hear ideas. So I would, feel free to reach out in those social networks. HARO, this is Help a Reporter Out. So if you search Help a Reporter Out in Google, it is a free service anyone can sign up for. And 3 times a day, they send you an email with different stories that reporters are working on that you could then submit answers to and be quoted in their stories. This is an amazing resource. It's been around for, I want to say a decade or so. But some of the outlets you can reach, Forbes, we've gotten our clients in through this service, Wall Street Journal, Men's Health. I mean, the caliber of the writers and outlets that are coming to help a reporter out are really remarkable. You will still get some, websites you've never heard of, but if it's relating to your work and what you know and your expertise, you might as well answer it, because it could be good for your SEO. And it's just something else you can share on social media to, again, raise awareness of what you're doing and that you're the best in your business. So I would definitely recommend signing up for Help a Reporter Out. It's a great resource. Another one very similar, and it's very new, is Turkle. So if you Google them, again, it's free to sign up through your email, and it's very much the same way. They will send you an email with, hey, here's a couple questions this month we've gotten from reporters for stories they're working on. Pick whichever ones you might want to answer. Some of the outlets that are included here for the HR folks in the room, SHRM, that's a great industry resource for you, and they're constantly looking for stories in there, as well as HARO. So be sure to reach out there. Fast Company, that's another great outlet with high viewership that is looking for story ideas and information on Turkle. And then things like Shopify. A lot of companies, big brands who are building out their blogs on their own website are actually becoming their own reporters. And they're looking for sources for their stories to make it not just about their expertise. And they're looking for people that are out there. Even if you don't use Shopify, maybe they might use your expertise depending on what they're talking about. So take a look in those areas. It's really great, easy, and free way to get your name out there and get your business a little bit more press. Because being able to say that you're mentioned in Forbes is a pretty big deal. And if you got it for free, that's even better. So I'm going to take a few questions too, but any questions you might have, feel free to email me anytime. There's my email, website. I'm on all the social media, so feel free to connect with me, Kendra Riley, or my business, Dawning PR. We're out there and available for anything you might need. We're happy to connect with you guys. So any questions, I'll go ahead and take them now.
Oh,
Anyone have any questions?
I do. I just don't see myself. It's Susan from Vancouver. Can you hear me okay, Kendra?
Yeah, hi.
Anyway, your presentation was amazing. So decades ago, I used to work in the media business in marketing, helping with editorial. So very comprehensive and very informative. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
I was just curious. So what is your kind of niche in terms of PR? Are you broad-based? Are you North American based? Like what cities do you like to work out of, and what's your focus?
Well, I love to travel, so I love to work in any city. But we primarily have Arizona-based companies. We do have some national companies like Core Power Yoga, and an online education school. So, I mean, we have things that are kind of all over the place. And we have clients too that really have gone all remote now, and they don't even have a corporate office. So we have clients like that as well. So it really runs the gamut. But we have the same media database that basically the large agencies in New York and LA have access to as well. So literally anyone from like small town Iowa to London or Paris, we have access to every reporter at every outlet around the globe. So the media are kind of at our fingertips, and it's really fun for us to, work in other markets, and we've helped our clients who, may have multiple locations in multiple states, or even are just in one state, but they want national press. So happy to work in anything. And we really don't have a niche as far as industry goes. We've got clients that are like, restaurants, wineries, wine festivals, and med spas, to asphalt companies and law firms and realtors. So it runs the gamut.
And just one more question on sort of the way that you work. So do you do like a monthly retainer? Do people hire you for a quarter or a seasonal push? How do you charge out?
Yeah. So normally we do monthly retainers for our clients, and it just depends on what they need. So say you're like, oh, I want statewide, just statewide or regional or national. We'll kind of build that out for you in a proposal and say how much it would be each month. And then for those that are kind of new to PR, that's all you're paying for each month. When we land you in a magazine or in an article, you're not paying anything extra. So you're just paying strictly for our relationships to, with those media people, to get your name out there. And we do more short-term project contracts too. So it depends on like kind of what's going on with the client. Like if they're doing a grand opening, we might do a 3-month project outline for them. Or if, like a wine festival client, for example, we'll do 2 to 3 months of press for them each year. So it just depends on what you need. And I became a lot more flexible over COVID with contract length and things like that. So I know it's been tough for a lot of people, so we're flexible in that regard, but it's always nice to have at least 6 months, I say, of PR, just because it helps the media trust in you, seeing your name pop up, over and over and over again. And, again, for the public, just like advertising, have that ongoing branding, and having your name out there continually makes a difference.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Do you work with any service industries like attorneys or technology or construction, development, those types of clients?
Yes, we do. We have a lot of construction and real estate clients. We have a law firm, and any kind of service industry. We've done all that. I love the construction ones. I think they're a lot of fun. It amazes me how many outlets are out there that talk about asphalt. I was blown away when we started talking with our client Sunland Asphalt, and I was like, okay, I know there's industry pubs, so we'll get in all those. And then I went into our media database, and I was just kind of looking through. I was like, I'm sure there's more than I'm thinking of, so let me just go see. And there was at least 100 outlets that talk about asphalt and construction. It's crazy. But yeah, those have been a lot of fun, and there's so much growth and development everywhere that it's a really hot topic right now, and all of the like real estate and development reporters are really clamoring over anything going on. So it's a lot of fun for us.
Well, asphalt is a good keyword for me because we have an asphalt client that's expanding.
Oh, nice.
So I may talk to you about that.
All right, cool. Yeah, that'd be great.
How about nonprofits?
Yes, we have a lot of experience there, personally and professionally. So we've been doing PR for nonprofits like my entire career. Whether it's an annual gala they're doing, or just ongoing press for them. We've worked with Ballet Arizona, Child Help, Make-A-Wish, Phoenix Children's Hospital, Armor Foundation for Kids, American Heart Association. So you name it. And I'm also gonna, make my own foundation here because of my daughters. So I'll be on the other side of the coin.
I have a question. First of all, that was great. 30 minutes of great information that I was writing everything down. So I appreciate that. The two sources that you mentioned, the Haro and the Turkle, and I obviously, I've already pulled it up on Googled it, so I'm going to sign that. But is it industry specific? So the questions that they send you, are they just, hey, we're sending this out to everybody, or you fill out information and then they send it to you based on that?
Yeah, you can fill out information. So then you're getting stuff specific to your industry
Okay.
and your expertise. And for Harrow, I think they have it set up as different e-newsletters. So you can get the business focused e-newsletter, or the lifestyle e-newsletter, or the tech e-newsletter. So it just depends. But yeah,
Okay.
once you sign up and go through, you'll see the options.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
And Kendra, I just wanted to add something. So just in terms of a Canadian push, people in Vancouver, Canada, and also Calgary, Alberta, and Edmonton as well, there's a massive chunk of snowbirds that own property there. So just something to consider about maybe extending reach depending on who the company is. We love Phoenix and Arizona.
Oh, I know. We love you guys too. We see you every season and vice versa. So yes, we have a lot of like Canadians that come down here enjoy the nice weather when it's a little too cold up there, and when it's too hot down here, we'll come up there. So it's a nice trade-off.
And they buy a lot of wine.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, we're a bunch of winos. And I wanted to hear more about your daughters, if you're able to talk about that in the foundation that you wanted to start in their situation.
Yeah. I was telling Lisa a little bit before, it's kind of a crazy story. So in March of 2020, our middle daughter started having trouble walking, and the irises of her eyes started vibrating. And we were like, okay, something's going on more than just needing PT to help her walk. And so we got an MRI, got a misdiagnosis. 3 days later, found out it was this disease, which is a terminal illness, very rare. So initially what happens in this disease, it attacks the brain, the white matter in the brain, and then attacks the nervous system. So she lost the ability to walk within 90 days, and then the ability to talk, and then now is tube fed and in hospice, and she's 4. And so average lifespan is 6. And when we found out her diagnosis and that it was genetic, we had to get our other daughters tested. So our oldest is a carrier of the gene mutation like we are, so she won't be affected. And then our youngest, who was a newborn at the time, we found out also had it. But thankfully, I was talking to an advocacy group, and they said there's actually gene therapy available in Milan, Italy, that your daughter could benefit from. And within 24 hours, she connected us with a team of doctors there and got all the tests and everything they needed. And they said, yes, she's a candidate. We'd love to have her, but you need to get here in a month and move here for 6 months for her to have this treatment. So we actually had my PR team and then all my colleagues in the industry kind of rallied around our family and shared our story. So we were in like the local news, we were in People magazine, everywhere, because we had to raise $500,000 in a month to move to Italy and afford this treatment for our daughter. So we did it. And that's what kind of made me realize the need for it, because there's so many other families that are having to raise awareness for their stories because insurance isn't covering whatever they might need. So we did it, got her the treatment, moved to Italy during the pandemic. She is now a normal, thriving, almost 3-year-old girl, and she's advanced in communication and enrolled in preschool and doing great. So she's our little miracle. It's still surreal.
Wow. I mean, it's unimaginable, and you've done such an amazing job to help your family and other people. And you seem so strong, and our heart goes out to you and your family. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I've spoken a lot about our story over the past couple of years, and I always speak on, national and international stages about it. So I'm used to at least getting it out there and not, they're like, you're not breaking down crying. I'm like, well, I was maybe 2 years ago. But yeah, so it's good to be able to come back home after all that and help all these other families through the boards that I'm on, and then hopefully getting my own foundation started so we can raise awareness for many more families that might need it.
Thank you, Kendra. That is really inspirational, and it was wonderful to have you today. Does anyone else have any questions for Kendra?
Yeah, you're a pro, Kendra. Great job.
Thank you.
Love your story, everything, how you work.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I love how you touched on your purpose and how you thought it was the PR but that's really just a vehicle for sharing your story. And I think that's really neat. That's
Yeah.
that came about.
Yes, everything was very serendipitous in the whole situation. Is yeah. Everyone keeps telling me to write a book now, so maybe when I get time, I'll work on that.
There you go. Perfect.
Well, thank you everyone so much for coming today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And if there's, I posted in the chat, everyone, but there's a link to our YouTube channel where the recording of this will be available usually within a week. So please like and subscribe so you'll get a notification if there's someone you want to share this presentation with.
And Kendra, did you put your information in the chat?
No, but I will now.
Okay, perfect.
Excellent.
Kendra, can you share your social media again, please, so we can follow your
Yes.
story?
There's email and phone number. And let's see. There I am on Instagram. On Facebook and the website, you'll be able to see all of like our client coverage that we get. I'm not as active on Twitter, but I'm there. Like a lot of people.
Maybe less going forward, we'll see.
Right, I know, it seems like it, yeah.
I'm just following you on Instagram right now.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, everybody. And thanks for joining us, and be on the lookout for emails about next month's topic.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
Take
day,
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.